Welcome again to Cottage Talk today. I am Russ Goldman. This is my 21st straight day of doing a daily show on Fulham. That's what Cottage Talk today is all about. And I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of the month through January. So I just want to thank everyone that has listened, who has watched. I really appreciate it. If you want to listen back to the show, please do subscribe to the Cottage Talk Patreon page. I'm live on YouTube, X, and of course on Facebook, but I will only leave this up on YouTube if you want to watch it back. You will not be able to watch this on the other platforms after this is ended. I'm going to be taking that off. And if, of course, you want to listen back to it, please do subscribe on the Cottage Talk Patreon page. Okay. So today's show, I was thinking of an interesting topic that I've been thinking about, and it deals with the wingers that Fulham have at their disposal. Now, this could all change if, say, Fulham signed another winger. There is all that speculation with Oscar Bob from Manchester City. That, to me, is, I think, a player that would upgrade Fulham. I'm all for it. Let's see if that can happen. And there could be a player that might be leaving. But the question is, when Fulham are fully healthy and have a full squad, who are the two wingers you would like to see Marco start? He can mix and match from match to match. That's not what I'm talking about. Like for going against the opponent, he might go with different wingers. I'm saying if you had the two wingers available that you wanted to go with on a regular basis to start for Fulham, who would they be? So that's basically what I'm going to do in this episode for the next 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to look at all the wingers, and I will come to the conclusion at the end that the last two names will be the wingers that I would go with. So let's start with number one, and it is Adama Traore. Now, there's all kinds of speculation with Adama Traore that he could be potentially on his way out, maybe to West Ham. So what I thought I would do is look at Adama Traore's stats this season with Fulham and just talk about what I feel Adama Traore offers Fulham right now. How much of a loss would it be? So I'm on the official Fulham website, and Adama Traore has played in 20 matches, 575 minutes played for Fulham. His shooting accuracy is at 43%. Pass completion is at 80%. He has scored 0 goals, 0 assists. Now, again, he comes off the bench, so he doesn't get a lot of opportunities. But when I've watched Adama Traore play this season, I think it's time to move on from Adama Traore, especially when I've seen him in the cup matches. He just doesn't seem to have that same spark that he had in the beginning of his career, when at one point, I think his second season, I thought that he should be a starter for Fulham Football Club. I don't feel like that at all anymore. And I think the situation with Fulham and Adama Traore has run its course, and I think it's time to separate. It does not mean that I don't appreciate everything that Adama Traore has offered Fulham. In fact, I do. I appreciate what he has offered the club. But I think at some point, it's okay to separate from a player and move on. And I think the time is now to move on from Adama Traore. Let's see if a deal gets done for him, because I think it would benefit him. I think he could go to a situation that maybe he would play a little bit more. Okay. So now let's move on to the next player I'd like to talk about. And actually, I think he's an integral part of Fulham, regardless of where he plays, and that's Alex Iwobi. So let me look at Alex Iwobi's statistics. I'll share that with you now with his time at Fulham this season. Again, coming from the official Fulham website. So here is Iwobi. And Iwobi's has played in 18 matches, minutes played 1,392, goals, 2 assists, attacking at 46% shooting accuracy, goal conversion at 15%, pass completion at 84%. So what's interesting about Iwobi is that when Iwobi came to Fulham, I remember when he was playing for Everton that one match, I believe he was playing centrally, and he has in the past. When Marco moved him to the 8, I thought that was the perfect place to put Alex Iwobi. So if you want to play him on the wing, you can, but I think he would best benefit Fulham centrally, especially in that 8 role. So right now, I would not play him on the wing. I think you will get a lot more out of Alex Iwobi, and I think he will influence the game a hell of a lot more. If you look at the situation that Fulham had with the double pivot, and now Lukic is injured, you've got very little going forward. Now you bring Iwobi in there, and I think you get a tremendous amount going forward. I think he can also give you cover along with Sanderberga as your number 6. So Iwobi is what I would call a true two-way player. He does defend. He does go forward. He's always looking forward. Iwobi, for me, should play centrally. That's why I'm not having him as my starting winger. I'm having him as my number 8. I think many Fulham supporters would agree with me on that. Okay, let's move on to another player that at the beginning of the season, preseason, I said would be Fulham's player of the season. So I don't think he'll be Fulham's player of the season, but Ryan Sessegnon, overall, I think has played very well for Fulham Football Club and deserves a new contract, and I hope something can be done sooner than later for Ryan Sessegnon, because not only has he earned a new contract, I think Fulham really need him for not just this season, but for beyond that. I think Ryan Sessegnon is a player that it's just such a wonderful story to see him rebound. I don't even think he has reached his full potential yet. Ryan Sessegnon should be a Fulham player for years to come. But let's look at some of the stats on Sessegnon. 18 appearances, total minutes played, 1,366, duels, 152, clearances, 48. Now, as you can imagine, most of his minutes have been as a left back. So you're going to see a lot of stats with defending, 58% tackles won, headers, 34%, pass completion, 81%. So what's interesting about Ryan, I think Ryan is an excellent defending left back. So that goes into another conversation about who's the best defending left back between him and Jedi. Jedi might be the overall better player because of what he offers going forward, but I think the better defender is Sessegnon. I believe that. But when it comes to being a winger, I also think that he offers a great deal, because I think he still to this day has a nose for goal. He's always in the right place at the right time. I think this is really a great position for him to be as a winger. Unfortunately for Ryan Sessegnon, there are other players, I think, in his way. So for me, Ryan Sessegnon should get a chance to play at wing, maybe coming off the bench, but I don't see him as your every match starter at this point just because of the other players ahead of him. But that doesn't mean that he can't do it. In fact, I know he can do it. But he's a player that I expect big things from the rest of the season, just maybe not as a regular starter. And that leads us to talk about Kevin. And what's interesting about Kevin is a player that I really heard a great deal about. I had on the podcaster who covers his former club, talked him up big time, and you can see the potential with Kevin. There's a lot of potential. So I'm going to just share some stats with him with Fulham this season. Also, again, from the official Fulham website. So just give me a second while I pull up Kevin's stats. If you're watching, you'll know what I'm doing here. So there's Kevin. So his season overview, 22 appearances, 1,078 minutes played, 1 goal, 3 assists, pass completion 78%, attacking, shooting accuracy 42%, goal conversion 4%. That's poor. That's poor. Let's just call it what it is. That is poor. So let's get back to Kevin and why, at this point, I feel that Kevin's best times with Fulham are coming, maybe just not this season. So for me, I think Kevin offers Fulham much more coming off the bench. He has all the tricks. I just think that he is still learning the league, and not only learning the league and what he can do against the opponents that he's going against, but obviously what he can and can't get away with. That goes along with learning. And I just don't think he is there yet. He needs more experience in the Premier League. So for me, he's not a regular starter. I know that's difficult to say when you pay all that money for him. I think next year, similar to Smith Rowe, you will see that the money will be well spent. Doesn't look it right now. But for me, he comes off the bench. He can start, but I would have him come off the bench and gear up over the summer to really see what he can offer you. But right now, he's not one of my two starting wingers. Now it's time to go to the two of them. One of them is pretty obvious. It's Harry Wilson. And Harry Wilson has had a tremendous season for Fulham Football Club. It's funny because he was very close to leaving Fulham. In fact, it looked like that was going to happen on deadline day. Thankfully, it didn't go through, even though at the time, I'm not going to lie, I was okay with it because I knew that they were going to be bringing in a young player. And I thought, you know what? It's time. It's okay. But Harry Wilson has proven his worth to Fulham Football Club. And here are his stats: 25 appearances, 1,786 minutes played. There's a Goldman, 8 goals, 5 assists. His goal conversion rate, 26%, shooting accuracy of 42%, pass completion, 81%. Right now, Harry Wilson basically offers you the best chance to score. And that goes above Raul as well. Harry Wilson should be a regular starter for Fulham for the rest of the season. Now, I know what is happening with the situation in regards to his contract. I understand what the speculation is with TalkSport about the other clubs being interested in him. And ultimately, I think it's going to come down to Harry Wilson. I don't think this is done and dusted that he's going to be leaving Fulham. I think only we will probably find this out at the end of the season, or if he signs a contract with Fulham. Listen, he deserves the opportunity to find out what he's worth, to make the decisions for himself, what's best for him. If he leaves, I wish him the best. And I will not blame Fulham if he leaves. I will just say the player did what was best for him and his family. Simply put. But right now, I'm playing Harry Wilson, starting him every match. The confidence that he's playing with, that's what I would do. Now, what's interesting is I think you're going to see more and more of this. Teams trying to take him away. And that's fine. You know, that's all good because that's going to leave someone else available to pick up the slack and score goals. But I think you're going to see more and more teams doubling up Harry Wilson. And that does not mean that Harry Wilson is going to have a bad rest of the season. It just means it might be a little bit tougher on him. But I expect more goals from Harry Wilson. Right now, he's Fulham's player of the season, and he is one of my two starting wingers for the rest of the season. And that leads to the other winger I am choosing, and that would be Samuel Chukwueze. So what's interesting about Chukwueze, and I just want to give a shout out to Steve Reynolds, who talked my ear off about Chukwueze for 2 years, telling me Fulham should go after him because he saw him play a great deal at Villarreal and told me how good he was then. It's like, listen, Fulham should go after him. And they did, and it has paid off. So for me, what's interesting about Chukwueze to me is in his prime. He is who you think he is. He's very direct. He is not awed at all by the Premier League. In fact, he plays with a tremendous amount of confidence, similar to Harry Wilson, and is extremely dangerous. He should be one of your starters. Here are some of his stats: 10 appearances, minutes played 425, 2 goals, 4 assists. Think about that in a limited amount of time. Goal conversion rate 22%, shooting accuracy 67%, pass completion 76%. So for me, no question, I'm starting Samuel Chukwueze each and every match for Fulham Football Club. That's what I'm doing. I think it's the two of them, talking about Wilson, and it should also be Chukwueze. Those are the starters for me. That's what I would do. That, to me, is the way to go for the rest of the season. But obviously, there will be an opportunity for other players to be starters. I mentioned Sessegnon, obviously Kevin, but for me, it comes down to Chukwueze and it comes down to Harry Wilson. Those are my stars. Anyways, like I mentioned, this is just going to be another quick episode. I thought it's an interesting topic to discuss and go through for about 15, 16 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed it. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is Russ Coleman. Thank you, as always, for watching and listening to Cottage Talk.